Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Darksiders 3. Let's continue. You know, the fact that we're kind of stuck in this hollow flame form almost makes it feel like the purple-haired version of Fury really was only in the game because a trailer early on, maybe 2 or 3 years before they even were actively working on Darksiders 3, showed her as being purple-haired. Because now it definitely feels like the game is not particularly too interested in maintaining her original appearance, which leads to her not being quite that iconic as a character, because there's now just like 4 different action figure versions of her as it is. Now we have another one of these one-way doors, but we'll eventually, I imagine, wind back around. It's probably not worth it to try to break candles at the moment, and just try and break pots. And this is a fairly dark section, but noticeably with your flaming hair, when you get near something, it lights up. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it actually lights up even when you're not in flame hollow mode. And then also I'm noticing she's wearing high heels, which, yeah, for Fury feels a little off compared to, say, Bayonetta, who had guns on her high heels. And Bayonetta as a character, though, has fully embraced her feminine appeal and uses it, whereas Fury as a character probably would half the time not even remember that she is female amongst hanging out with the other Four Horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, I feel like she would have more military-esque steel-toe armored boots designed to protect and do as much damage as possible, in the same way that every War and Death had that kind of boot. I assume we're jumping down here and running into a group of enemies. Maybe not so much it may not be so much a big boss enemy. Let's go ahead and dash this way to take out the archer. And then this is more of a group than we've fought so far. Normally the groups have been much smaller. I don't want to step on this switch yet. I guess at a certain level you probably should always use your respite if your health is a little low. Because you won't get any more of the green souls to refill your respite if it's at its maximum. So there is this balance you're going to try and embrace of always having it charge up more. We're seeing a lot of these metal doors that seem to be indicators that we're never getting past them. and broken gates doing about the same thing. There's a lot in this room to break and destroy. But regardless of that, it still looks like an arena room in which we're potentially going to fight someone else. Or this switch is going to fling us up out of the hollows. No, the switch has decided to spin it around in the same way the other switches have trained us to expect something to spin around. The only difference here, I think, maybe how fast you have to move. So the game just really wants you to remember that dashing is a feature, which means it's probably necessary.
Skeletons. Never even break a sweat against skeletons.
Notice that the watcher doesn't even bother to comment there, which is probably a smart move. Like, to have the dialogue just be Fury talking to herself. In these fights, I don't think you actually ever do anything with the swords, ironically. Nope, you've got the sword and you can swing it. It's not your Y attack, it is your X attack. But I also don't really feel like the swords are particularly stronger. Even though they might do more damage, the balance against the time it takes you to swing the sword versus swinging your whip may make that not very helpful. It feels like there would be some almost weird speedrunning tech if you could get a sword and then hold on to it for a long time. Okay. Notice how the statue is moving a little bit when we hit that. We could go back to Volgrim if we had 10,000. Actually, I should think about that. Just go back to Volgrim and maybe get a checkpoint, but also consider using our spirits.
What would you ask of me? Take your time.
Alright. The thing here is the unfocused Leviathan. +5 for when breaking objects for 5,000. I think we have to grab this and just hope this isn't a mistake. The fact that it makes you hold on to this to choose.
As you wish.
So he says that's a wise decision. Oh yeah, come to think of it, I forgot about the whole respite thing too. Let's
What would you ask? Please
serpent hole
take your time.
serpent hole travel back to the Maker's Forge while we're at it. I think we should probably min-max this as much as possible. Or min-max is maybe the wrong phrase, maybe just maximize us.
How can my hammer be all right?
Alright.
Let's see what I can do for you. Didn't think it was possible, but now You're even deadlier.
So demonic Leviathan is now our new
Interesting.
focus.
Aiming to lay down a mighty herd, are we?
We do have enough to upgrade our Barbs of Scorn.
You're even deadlier.
So
Interesting.
we'll leave it at that.
And watch your back, eh?
Okay. Alright. So equip enhancement, socket this. Equip enhancement, this one. So we now have 2 enhancements. Now every time we're breaking objects, we'll get +7. And that should maximize things. As far as consumables go, one of these shards. Interesting, it was crashed there. I could not go up and down with the D-pad. At least it seemed like that was the case. Upon receiving a fatal strike, Fury's health is partially restored. This item must be consumed to function. So eating an undying shard isn't a terrible thought, but I'm not sure I want to use it quite yet. I might want to sell it. Here it is. And yeah, the game is crashing in the menu quite a lot. It really isn't a good statement on THQ Nordic that this really should have been their coming out of their gate perfect game, and the menu is crashing and I can't select things. Alright, so this Luminous Visage will give me a level up, which lets me potentially increase my strength or increase my health or increase my arcane. And I think strength is something that we want to just keep on increasing as much as possible. We're going with a good defense as a good offense as a strategy.
What would you ask of this? Please take your time.
Alright. Well, that may not have seemed like that really changed much. It kind of does. Because now when I destroy something, looking for potential collectibles and such, it is going to give me a little bit of souls. And that doesn't mean I really should run around breaking everything possible. But it does mean when I'm swinging at a pot and I hit 5 candles next to the pots, I'm getting rewarded for that use of my time. I'm a little confused as to where I'm supposed to go now. Unless this gate is going to send me somewhere different. The other sword is kind of in an unknown place. Maybe there's a switch over here. That would maybe make some sense. Now the sword is right there. So maybe over here there's a switch you step on. Yes, there is. Now, at a certain level, I may have actually changed my odds on getting the crystallized versions of the souls. Notice how the camera here is glitching a little bit, but also I wasn't standing in the center well enough. That's where probably just having the game automatically have Fury walk closer towards the center without actually giving the player a choice would have been the smart move there. Like, nobody's gonna be really upset if she takes like one step forward, or if she gets bumped by a wall and takes one step forward automatically. Even when you're walking, when you let go of the controller, the feet line up on pretty much every character. They take half a step or a full step extra. You're not getting a ridiculously large amount of resources doing it this way, breaking stuff. But a lot of these shards I was picking up were also really only giving you 25 souls. Not really significant numbers either. Yeah, and pretty much any time I see fire or I see a sky opening, I think I'm supposed to potentially go in that direction. But I don't think that's really the case. It is better than the second game though, where you would see cracks in the walls that totally looked like places you could jump and reach. I'm hoping I went the right direction. Noticeably here, if water was to cancel fire, I wouldn't be able to walk in this fire form in water or have waterfall water hitting me. But that's noticeably not the way it's working. We kinda need to stop fighting skeletons fairly quickly in this game. Otherwise this is going to be fairly annoying. Although we're seeing a lot of just dead demons. This looks different. At a certain level these skeletons can get a little bit stronger and they can take a little bit more hits. But they'll become fairly annoying if there isn't more to it. If we don't have different attack patterns or different weapons to take on. Different weapons, different attack patterns, different sizes of enemies. Just more variety in general. Chaos enhancements. Enhancements can be socketed in your weapons. A socketed enhancement will confer active benefits to the weapon and a passive benefit to Fury. So we just purchased an enhancement prematurely probably. Probably wasted 5,000 souls, which is almost certainly an insignificant number of souls in the long run. And now we have an enhancement that we would have found, so it might come down to something like this. Like 1% of damage on using the Y attacks, potentially giving you health back instead of health regen per minute, 18 health regen per minute. Might be an interesting idea. Although right now this is the 18 health regen per minute is a passive benefit, whereas the passive benefit on this would be 112% havoc form duration. And yeah, your havoc form, chaos form, which I think are the same things. Although maybe not, maybe there are just two forms. Either way, neither one is a form that I use very often. Interesting little odd flickering of light, either because there's water on the ground or just because of this light source. Did I come in from this point? Yes, I did. Came in here, I fought a bunch of people. We found an enhancement. Alright. So it seems to me like we have another fight arena. There's perhaps a way to take out some more enemies first by checking out these side areas. If I start breaking objects and stop getting the chunks as often, that will in the long run save me some time. Yeah, there is a whole puzzle in this room. This is the room that we went through to get to here, so we've just actually gone full circle. Which maybe that's great game design or level design, or maybe that's kind of bad level design. Yeah. From the looks of it, I need to swing, jump, and then dodge and burn. I don't know why I need to swing, jump, dodge, and burn, but I do. So that burnt some of that area, but not all of that area. I need to get, I think, that specifically burnt first before I can kind of do anything else. I'm a little confused by this, to say the least. So just stand on this. Okay. Standing on this gets that. So that bug is now stuck back there and apparently crushed to death. Let's destroy some things while we think this through. I don't think there really is too much to think through. It feels awkward. Maybe I have to dash forward. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We still don't really have a way to get off this step so much. And we don't have a distance shot in which we could just shoot this and have it blow up. So when I step off of this, so the question is, can I dash? Oh, you know what? Let's just do this. I think this is the solution. You go over there and eat that. I come over here. And hit that. And then the thought here is that that would make a timer, hit enough flames to get that guy upset to shoot off enough flames to go over here. And so it's just all about delaying to get to that point. Okay. Gate is open. I can lead this guy back over here in case I need him again. Otherwise, it's just leaving him there to get rid of him. Interesting that one candle stands out, but it's not one that you can break. The thing about this is I question whether I'm really going to fight a boss at this point, or if I'm just going to maybe fight another group of enemies, and then there's almost certainly going to be a boss once we get all 3 of the keys done. I'm not even sure for certain what boss it would be. I mean, we have on our radar one of the 7 deadly sins being pointed in that general direction. So I guess that is a high possibility. Are both dead? Yes. Okay. And these just burn. So they don't have any of the rejuvenating magic to them that regenerates the cobwebs. But they were hiding some collectibles. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's probably not going to be a big boss before we get this sword. What do you know? There wasn't. We still aren't getting compasses and maps like a Zelda game, or an old Zelda game would. I guess I really don't need to swing the sword. I can just hit it with my flame jump. And I think I personally would prefer if there were Zelda-esque compasses and pointing towards a treasure and maps pointing out the entire levels. But these dungeons aren't that terrible either. And maybe there is perhaps an improvement even compared to Zelda games in the fact that you can, in this game, get through this dungeon without really struggling or getting lost or having a lot of rooms that interconnect. Instead, this was just two different pathways, or yeah, two separate pathways that looped back into the center. But this guy wants to move. And my jump seems to have been a little bit more of an area explosion. Right.
I think that's our way out. Really? When the massive statue moves its massive arms so as to create a massive bridge to the exit, you think it's our way out?
I was just excited. You don't have to be mean about it.
Actually, I do.
Am I supposed to go over from that point to that point? No. I remember what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. This could have been a little bit more obvious. You have to walk back up here and then walk up the stairs. It's really unnecessary for it to be this way. They just wanted that visual. And if they were going to have it that way, then this gate needed, the camera needed to zoom in on this gate and like zoom from where it was looking at you to show the gate opening after you hit the 3. Man. This is not going well. It's extra, certainly. Extra and unnecessary. Can't open that one. I'm just gonna double jump and hope that works. And then the way up, I think, is probably the exit. And this is probably just an extra collectible in case you missed it with a demonic artifact. Really feels like the entirety of the apocalypse is over at this point. You're not seeing angels or demons fighting so far. We're just seeing skeletons and monsters. And it's a broken ladder, I guess, just to imply to jump upward towards a boss fight, I assume. And yeah, I really wouldn't assume that humans were anywhere near this area. That would be kind of ridiculous. So this ladder, I assume, is created by some ancient maker or something. I imagine most of these dungeons that look like this are going to be made by some ancient maker species that existed before humans even walked the earth. And we're back to seeing more plant life.
Mistress. Easy. Do you hear it?
Lust is one of the 7 deadly sins, so
This is not what we seek. Let us carry
I wonder what that character will look like.
the maker.
But then again, they could have changed the name.
Owe him nothing.
I know. I want him to owe me. Easy, child. Easy. I can lead you to others like you. Humans. Won't that be nice?
So obviously that's not a human. Questionable as if that was ever human. It's possible they were. Now there are these little bomb-throwing goblins that yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the humans are being turned into these monsters through just the forces of the apocalypse. I wouldn't be surprised if these cocoons are how humans are turning into monsters. Maybe the demonic aura of even the corpses of demons are mutating the humans. And visually, that's an interesting little cutscene, but I don't think really does much for you. I don't think I can jump up there, even though I do think there is something up there. Sounds like Volgrim might be over there. Yeah. Because I kind of don't feel like the game gets better if all of a sudden you have to worry about humans potentially attacking you while you're trying to rescue them. That oddly just doesn't feel like it's in line with the actions that they're trying to create. Oh, I guess when she does the flame jump, she loses her hair. Or maybe she jumped into the water and lost her hair because of that. Like, that seems to be the trick, though, is that you're supposed to jump up here and then you're supposed to hit X. And I got a prompt but didn't hit the button fast enough because the prompt was after the fact. I'm gonna just stand here and jump upward. And I barely made that. That was a little awkward. I don't want to fall down. Well, I definitely see something over there, but I'm not sure I get over to that area. Am I supposed to jump and swing backwards now? You're hearing people scream all over the place. Monster scream. Which, for an apocalypse game, that kind of makes some sense. That it would just be kind of a continuous horrific screams experience, although that becomes very annoying for an actual player. Yeah. So that is what it wanted me to do, is to jump and jump back. Just reusing the platforms. And look at that. We somehow magically left from the temples back to Earth. So the hollow connected to the temple, which is on Earth, and the temple connected back to a human area. Noticeably there is a collectible over there, but I can't reach it. And there's a gate here. And we're back in the sewers. So we may very well have just gone full circle as far as fighting Wrath. And we may just be back to fighting Wrath again. And getting our revenge. We do now have more abilities, though, and we can get higher. These crystals.
These are definitely not children.
So, if we get the ability to climb walls, I assume the diamond wall climbing ability is an upgrade to that. Creepy children. Sound effects. I think the general idea here is to keep moving. And I guess if you get knocked down there, you probably have to go through that whole pattern again. Which sucks because we see that there is a collectible down there. But I am not like kicking a ladder down or anything, so. While it is possible that that is a very helpful item, it is also possible that it is just, let's forget it. Let's get it anyways. Better to be thorough now because we're not really getting a lot of prompts to come back to these kinds of areas. It does kind of feel like once you're done, you're not coming back for a while at least to this. I don't feel like there's probably a way to actually kill these little bombers. At least not now. We're definitely getting maybe a little bit too much use out of our double jump at this point. Let's go ahead and use our respite. And I don't know if this is potentially them trying to wear you down for a boss fight, which I would have expected there to have been a boss fight at the end of that, at the end of the temple, and there wasn't. Instead, we're ending up in like a natural museum, and we have a trap here that I don't really see a reason to trigger other than to try to figure out what it was. And so now we know what it is. We won't intentionally trigger any more of those. Interesting. A little bit of artwork there.
I sense these foul brats don't want us here.
Okay. Let's start with this. And look up here. And look over here. Again, this feels like this is a new dungeon. And it would be nice if there was a new map to go with that new dungeon. Oh man, you really are just gonna get wrecked if you're not careful. And see, it would be kind of weird to get like a bomb-proof ability. In the game this early to them potentially introducing a bomb. Bombers. Geez, I may be really, really far back, too. I guess I probably am. I think I have to play a little bit safer and choose safety through getting through this area first. Instead of trying to just kill everybody. Like, I don't think I have the option to try to kill every character, every bomber. Alright. We need to get our collection of souls back. And so I'm gonna just try and mad dash without setting off any explosions or tripwires. that gets our souls back. Really not getting a large reward for killing these enemies anyways. So by default, that's what it would have wanted you to do, is work your way through that section. I imagine to go deeper into the museum. I suppose these are more deadly than fighting the bugs, but it really did feel like the bugs never really gave us a large amount of them, and I really expected there to be a higher count overall. Alright. So I think the idea is we need to get up higher and use the dinosaur. Or maybe swing on the bottom part of that. I still need to keep my eyes open looking towards the ground, where this game hasn't really required me to look towards the ground before then. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't think you can dash towards that and get over there. I don't think we're supposed to be breaking the T-Rex. If anything, I feel like that was probably just a bit of an Easter egg. What we can do is jump up here. And maybe that'll lead to something. And I think I'll just leave that collectible and hope that it's nothing. I don't think that there really is anything that's further down that way. Or too much that's further down that way. There almost certainly is more that way. Nope. That didn't work. Alright. So maybe it was more of a case that you were just supposed to get on the T-Rex to realize that you needed to go this way. It doesn't feel great. I have to admit, though, that we've effectively gone through one entire dungeon and just found an entrance and an exit to that dungeon and nothing else. Oh, that sucks. It doesn't quite make sense that you would just find the entrance and the exit. But I'm trying to think about it, and I'm really trying to see if maybe there was something else we got in that previous dungeon, and I just don't think there was. We got the Fury Hollow before we entered the dungeon. We learned knowledge, so perhaps the idea of this game is more the idea that you could accomplish any dungeon in any order as long as you figured it out or had the knowledge. Some of the Zelda games definitely tried to go in that direction, and
What manner of hoarder do we have here?
Mistress, your talisman. Be wary.
alright, so we're finally at the boss fight. Greed, I imagine, is who we're about to fight. Although, I feel like we fought in the first game something that was like greed and like one of the 7 deadly sins. Alright, we'll come back and check this area later, and hopefully we can check this area. I only have one respite, so if we run into a big boss fight or if it teleports us after this, that will suck. We have a small healing shard. We have this. We have a checkpoint, definitely telling us we're about to hit a boss fight. And I just see a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we fought something that kind of felt like it could have been greed in the first game, but it probably had some weird name like the Jailer or something.
There wasn't much that the humans got right, but they did know art.
What?
Frankly, I think it's one of the reasons that the angels were so jealous of them. Have you ever seen one of those birds paint?
You're talking about art. Now. Here.
It's a museum. Well, certainly, we have our mission. I'm just saying.
Some people have no appreciation for the finer things in life.
Avarice.
Fury. Welcome to my hall of treasure. Unfortunately, you forgot to pay the entrance fee. Your life.
Well, this is a new character.
You have hardly been worth the hunt.
Okay. Let's try to activate our mode and hope we can hit him. Which, that was a mistake. the trick here definitely is to dodge and keep an eye out. And probably use the biggest attacks with the Y attacks as possible.
Give me your best.
I need to be dodging more.
Finally, show.
He's attacking you with bathtubs and refrigerators. And my timing here is just bad. Needed to use a small health kit there, and probably need to use another small health kit. Come on. Okay. So at that you lose all your crystals, but you get your respite back. As far as small health kits, I got out of order. A undying shard being consumed at this point might not be a terrible thought also, but saving it is a better move. Not really struggling there by much anyways.
You will be my greatest trophy.
Avarice is another word for greed, by the way, in case you're not familiar.
Your glorious head is my greatest pride.
He throws things at you, I think, too fast that you would, as far as if you were to actively try and jump up and hit him. But clearly I'm not doing the best of job of dodging attacks. I'm not really even doing the best of jobs holding the left trigger, which arguably maybe a toggle on the left trigger, which might actually be an option, it should be used. The game probably prevents you from using the respite twice in a row, by the way, so you don't waste it.
Enjoy your collection, Avarice. For one final time.
Again, pre-rendered cutscenes, which actually look worse than the in-engine cutscenes. More and more, I think we will start seeing that happen.
One sinner's life.
Since these are the 7 deadly sins, I assume that they are never were human.
Who needs a museum when you can carry a collection in this?
Oh, Philistine.
And see, we left crystal shards on the ground to be dragged.
Welcome again.
It's not like I had a choice in the matter. Do you kidnap all your guests?
You would not be so disrespectful if you knew the true power I give you. Your battle with avarice proved you value your mission above material possessions. You are ready for stronger tools of destruction.
Another toy for me to play with. You're far too generous.
The storm, Hollow. Use it wisely.
We may be
Why not give
closer
me all
to
your gifts and get it over
halfway
with?
through the
You're
game
so
than it
keen to
seems.
arm one of the horsemen.
Be gone.
Or, you know what, it is probably nicer for them to straight up just kick you back to where you were. Because almost certainly in this fight, you would want to run around and pick up these items. I don't think any of this is really breakable. I don't think you can, let's see. Yeah, I don't think you can get up to anything. So now I can swap between fire and storm at will. But the storm ability is not a double jump upward. It is more of a gliding downward, I think. Unless you are in a tornado. They have a little section here for angelic items, but the vast majority of this is nothing. What we didn't get for defeating the guy, though, is it's not like we got 5,000 extra crystals. And even if we did get it in the crystallized form, we still don't have that extra armor that would make it wise to use it. I think I've gotten all the collectibles around here, but it definitely feels like there's room for mistakes there. And it can't jump up to that area, which means maybe we never even get to that area. And talisman can be used to locate other sins. It tells you that over and over again, like you're supposed to do something about that. But the storyline seems fairly concrete in that it wants you to play this the way you're playing it. Alright, so let's look at our inventory before we finish. Yeah, we might be closer to halfway through the game than it seems, now having 2 of what seems like 4 hellos. Although certainly we could go through a good hour or 2 before we even get whatever would be here, and then another 2 hours before we get to here, so you might be looking at 8 hours at least of more gameplay. We have a Lance of Scorn weapon, which is that 3rd weapon that I suspected we would get. Some attacks blast out lightning now, but I don't know what equips Lance of Scorn. Because there isn't really a button here. So I can equip that gem, which is fine. We have, well, the thing's broken, but a decent amount of these crystals, but not a huge amount of these crystals. Ideally, if we do start having to use the small healing shards, we can keep the healing shards to sell. If we need to sell, we do have a decent amount of items. Apparently, fragment of adamantium augments weapons up to +6, whereas this one only goes up to +3. I haven't seen weapons so far, I guess. So yeah, the Barb of Scorn, for instance, I guess maybe I can't upgrade that anymore with the adamantium or the silver sliver. It's not silver, it's sliver now that I look at it. Well, we have another luminous visage. I don't know where we got that from. Let's see, 800 times 4 would be about 2,000. 10 to this would be another 1,500. That gets you to 8,000. 10 times this is 4,000. We do have enough to get to 10,000 now. So, if I was to do 20 of these, that's about 1,000, and I probably want to do the smallest ones first. Alright, that didn't raise the number, did it? I'm at about 5,000 now. If I do this, small clusters and shadow, all of that, that's almost 10,000. The medium lurcher clumps. We want to hit it almost exactly on the nose if we can. There we go.
By the way, I hope you don't take offense, Fury.
Yet I'm certain I will.
Yes, well, don't slaughter the messenger and puree his guts, as the saying goes. Whispers of your martial prowess have spread throughout certain circles, Horseman. There are those who would like to put your talents to the test, if you wish to humor them.
I do not.
But if you did, out of curiosity or pride or plain old greed like a normal person, say the word, and the serpent hole shall convey you unto the Crucible.
The Crucible is
The
DLC.
Crucible. Ugh, bit on the nose, isn't it?
Says the furious horseman named
Enough, Fulgrim. What's in this for you?
10%. A demon's got to make a living. And for you, rewards that should pique a warrior's interest, assuming you survive.
I could probably do the Crucible right now and get some rewards for that. At least try it.
Greetings. Take your time.
Nothing new here. We can now buy angelic artifacts and demonic artifacts in limited resource, which I'm not sure we could have done that before. Maybe that means I missed a few in the game, or maybe that means they just don't well, I don't know what that would mean. That may just be an infinite amount. Well, now immediately they show us that if we wait till 20,000, we get 5% physical damage reduction. But that's pretty much the same as what the other one is. It's 15% storm arcane damage, 5% physical damage reduction, 5% lurchers from shattering crystals. So, yeah, buy this armor. Armor can be equipped in the inventory.
An excellent choice.
Can't really buy anything else. I don't think maybe there's that much reason to buy rejuvenation core or an unfocused rage. Noticeably though, we bought an unfocused Leviathan and nothing else really has shown up from that. So buying the unfocused range or the rejuvenation core here might be one-time things, and they might be better deals otherwise. And then if I was going to feed him souls to upgrade, that would be something to consider. And we just had a big boss fight, and it really shows that our health is not that big of a deal. It will get knocked down, but damage overall is a better move. And arcane damage going up maybe is going to be a better move later on, but I think for the vast majority of your gameplay, just doing physical damage is the right move. So let's wait till it's not crashed and equip this armor. It does seem like this armor may be the best armor to buy for the vast majority of the game, and then we may get like a final version of armor at the very end that is available for purchase. Let's see. Barbs of Scorn, or the Lance of Scorn, is a Y attack weapon, as Chains of Scorn is, so maybe the Lance of Scorn would make better sense. But whether you're using the Lance or the Chains, let's see, seems to be maybe based on what form you're in. So you get the Demonic Whip by default, but the Lance of Scorn is only used when you're in this mode and not used when you're in this mode. But I think I probably will spend most of my time in this mode. We're going a little late here.
Please take your time.
Let's go to the Maker's Forge and see what we can upgrade. And then I think we will try the Crucible in the next recording. That makes a decent amount of sense, because if we can get some major improvement in attacks, or
What do you need, Horseman? All right, let's see what I can do for you.
physical damage on the weapon, damage will recover this health, items when breaking. I think we want to improve this. We can't improve that. We can't improve that. We could increase our Havoc form duration, or we can go returned damage as health. Even at the most, if we get it to balanced, damage returned as health is only going to be like 6%. That might be quite a lot over the course of a game, but it's a passive effect, and I'd have to put it on a weapon I want to use. So I think Havoc form duration is probably your best bet.
You're even deadlier. Interesting. Aiming to lay down a mighty hurt, are we? Oh, what beautiful havoc you'll wreak with that.
Barbs of Scorn can be upgraded. And then Chains of Scorn probably can be
Best
upgraded. Since we kind of now know that each of these weapons can only be upgraded so much by the sliver of adamantiums, that tells us that we might as well just move ahead. And Barbs of Scorn is now past the +3 point, so I can't upgrade it until I get fragments of adamantium.
Interesting.
It's fairly obvious here, though, that this maker character should, one way or another, just be merged with your shopkeeper instead of you having to travel here. There's no benefit to the game development, really, to have to fast travel here to get it upgraded, then fast travel back. It's just doing that for storyline reasons.
Please take your time.
Atrium Greed. Each of these sections could be twice as long as far as different areas. And the Void is a different area. Interesting. So it might be interesting to check out what the Void actually is, but we'll do that later. Yeah, it does kind of feel like at best you're going to have 3 more areas, and each area could be twice as long. Right. And we'll see if there's a tutorial message that pops up our video. Nope. So that's a good place to end this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.